And you just heard Silly laughing there as I hit the record button. Obviously, I caught her off a little early. Suffer, you jock. Anyway, this is Loopy Legend, the Master of Insanity. Hi, I'm Batman. And I'm also doing Wheatley's introduction because he's currently late. And we have to get the show started, so Wheatley might show up later, he might not. Last I checked, he was out picking up his car from the mechanics, and he said it'd be half an hour. That was, nearly over an hour ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So for those of you who don't know, this is my fabulous guest star and temporary co-host until Wheatley gets back anyway, Silly Billie, the Lion Kitty. Lion Kitty. Yeah, as you can see, they're a wonderful cat indeed. So, this is, for those of you who don't know, Silly Billie's a wonderful hand-drawn artist. She specialises in doing stuff that's not digital. And, well, as much as she doesn't give herself enough credit for it, she's an amazing artist, aren't you?
I guess so.
See what I mean? She underestimates herself. Oh, so sad. Waste of talent. Anyway, because of Wheatley's absence, we'll be doing things a little bit differently this week. Normally we'll get right into the news, but because, well, most of the news is actually Wheatley's news this week, we'll have to wait for Wheatley to get back, won't we? Damn it, Wheatley, hurry up! You are over 40 minutes late. And I am having to cover for you. Yes, I know! It's like I'm talking to myself. Oh, I know, darling. It's so good having a one-sided conversation. I can insult Wheatley and get away with it this time. Anyway, well, since Wheatley's not here, this is my guest star this week, so we might get into this a little bit. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Silly.
I do love my drawing, as you said. And yes, I do traditional art, and I hand draw things. As much as I do like digital art out there, it's not really quite me. So I do a lot of marker work and inking, and some of you may have seen Loopy's recent TIFF2 spray. I'll just Key Mark Crusaders. Yeah, that was one of my drawings.
I love Sleeping CNC. Yay, that's so cute.
Yes, I love doing little fan art and pony art, and it's generally what I do on a regular basis.
And the best news about this week's guest star, she's a huge brony. Yay!
Yep.
So I have an excuse to talk pony on the show, and Wheatley can't do squat about it. And he's not here to stop me.
Loopy's week.
Yo, you better believe it's my week. I finally get to go. You know? Wheatley's normally like, we can't have this much pony, you know, it's too much. And I'm like, screw it, I've got a pony guest star this week. Stuck it up your butt.
Yeah, I'm very much... I don't know whether to class myself as a fairy or a brony, because I'm both, if that is even possible.
Yeah, I'd say it could be possible. Why not?
I'm one of those crazy crossbreeds.
Mm. Oh, please forgive us if you're hearing a bit of an echo in the background. We are having some technical difficulties this week. It's one of those weeks where just about everything can go wrong, has gone wrong, so you will have to bear with us this episode. I'm sorry, loyal listeners. But Wheatley's currently out late as anything. I mean, we have to get this podcast done before a certain time, otherwise we won't have a chance to even do it this week, will we?
Nope.
So, I apologise for the this episode being a little bit mixed up in a few technical issues, so please bear with us, and by next week, hopefully we'll have everything sorted out. I'm sorry you had to come on the worst week, Silly. My sincerest apologies. But, yeah. So, we will get this rolling. So, as we see, you are a wonderful artist, and, so, apart from art, what else do you enjoy doing?
I love music, actually. I'm very much anything and everything to do with being creative or playing games. But I do love playing bass guitar. Oh,
you play bass guitar?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I play percussion myself and a bit of saxophone, but go figure. A kitty that plays bass guitar. Yes, you got the paws to do it.
And not the hooves.
Yeah, I know, but hooves are wonderful on bongos, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom. Ting! But, I mean, I can pretty much picture this. You sit there and you go to play guitar. You dress up in a formal suit, you know, you get yourself ready to play, and you walk up to the guitar ever so gracefully. Next thing, out come the spikes. Dun, 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 dun. You can imagine that, can't you?
Yep. In fact, the first time I ever performed, it was a school performance. I actually ended up wearing dress pants and a waistcoat with a black tie. And you see me walking out and it's just like, I'm a bassist dressing up in a waistcoat. What is this? I'm not part of an orchestra.
I think people probably, if you're in a waistcoat, most people probably thought you would be investigating the guitar instead of playing him. Like you're one of those private eyes. They all wear waistcoats, don't they?
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, since you are a big brain, I do have to ask, who's your favourite pony?
I'm definitely a Princess Luna and Nightmare Moon fan.
Ooh, so that would make your favourite episode Lunar Eclipse, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
very much.
So there you go. No wonder she's such a night owl.
Sleep during the day, come out at night. Haha.
You must religiously look out the sky every evening to watch the moon come up.
Pretty much, actually. And
Do you howl at it?
a lot of people notice that I usually end up playing Halo on TF2 on the US servers at like 2 o'clock in the morning with Devaro. So, yeah, I'm very much nighttime.
A few of us do that. I mean, you see Sapphire and a few others on there quite often, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like the AU servers start dying around 1 or 2 in the morning, and unless it's a big night. Like, some nights we go on the AU servers all night, but like when it dies down, we all switch over to the US servers. It is quite fun living a nightlife sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, mornings are overrated, aren't they?
Too bright, too sunny.
Too bright, too sunny.
Celeste needs to go to sleep.
Well, that's what she does that in the night. She has to be up at 6 every morning to raise the sun, doesn't she?
She can continue sleeping. I want my moon.
It is a good question. If we could have the way that our weather works now, or have controlled weather like a question, what would you prefer?
Dark, gloomy.
No. Like, would you reckon having weather like a question, how they physically control the weather? Or would you like it how it's just all natural?
Control it.
Just
control it.
At least every time we have an outdoor event that's been arranged months in advance, it won't be raining on that day, hey? You can relate to that a bit, can't you?
Oh, yeah. The amount of times you'll go out and it's just bad weather, it's like...
Tell me about it. I mean, there's this big event planned, it's been planned for months, and, you know, I bought my ticket months in advance, I'm ready to go, and the day of the event, it's nothing but freezing cold and raining.
Yep.
Anyway, that brings us to a bit of news, actually. I will cover one bit of news, that's mine. For those of you that live in Adelaide, AvCon will be on in July, and our very own resident artist, Silly Billie the Lion Kitty, will be there selling her artwork, won't you?
Yep. And I'll be with a few well-known Ozfarians like Rizar and Death. They'll be coming from Melbourne over as well. They'll be staying with me. And and Rizar's going to be selling his art as well. So if you see a very crazy cat and a...
standing next to a very rockety cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is your art table, like, you're going to share the same art table, are you?
Yep.
So, well, there you go. So if you're interested in Razar's art, or Silly's art, which I am because I've already bought one of her pictures, we'll get to that a little bit later. What was that, the first 15 minutes I bought that in, was it?
Yep. First 15 minutes of me having it up on the internet, Loopy was just like, shoink.
Mine. I feel like this conversation is a little bit one-sided. I mean, I do normally rely on Wheatley to help me carry a few things, but well, I've got to do the best what I can with what I've got, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you're interested, if you're around the Adelaide area and you want to go to AvCon this year, it's the 27th to 29th of July. Damn it, they just got free publicity. I didn't get paid for it. And, I mean, apart from Silly and Razar's artwork there, which I'm pretty sure you'll go buy some of, won't you? Good loyal listeners, you've now been mind-controlled, you must buy. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots to do. I mean, there's all the anime stuff, all the cosplay, all the gaming stuff, isn't it? It's all there, isn't it? Comics, trading cards, it's all there. I've never been to AvCon before, so it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much gaming and anime, and a lot of cosplay. And I wouldn't be surprised to see quite a few bronies there this year dressing up as Rainbow Dash and all that. But there are a number of events where, you'll have Battlefield or you'll have Pokemon, some gaming. And then
I've got a favour to ask for you, actually, about that.
Really?
If you see someone dressed up as Pinkie Pie, I want a photo.
Okay.
I love or Cutie Mark Crusaders.
I want to see a Cutie Mark Crusader. I want to see, like, Apple Bloom.
Yeah. Actually, Sweetie Belle, as much as I am Scoodloo, Sweetie Belle is my favourite Crusader. Go figure.
Actually, I might have to agree with that one. There's just something about Sweetie Belle, isn't there?
So cute, so cute, so cute.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of pony cosplays.
Yeah, it would be fun. Oh, hang on. Wait, is that Wheatley who's just joined the document? Hang on a second. Oh, I think Wheatley's here. Hang on a second. Just adding Wheatley now. Ring-a-ding-ding. Hello, Wheatley.
Ah!
Yes, Wheatley's here. How you going, Wheatley?
That took way longer than expected.
You do know something right now, don't you? We're actually recording at the moment, and we're actually partway through the show already.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, everybody.
So there you go. You're now relieved of co-host duty. You can be the guest star again, silly.
Yay!
All is well in the universe. You'll have to take over for me for about 10 seconds or so, because I really need to use the little voice room. I'll be right back.
Oh, there you go. You're an official co-host for another 10 seconds. How's that sound?
Yes! Come on,
quick.
guest, become a host.
Yes, you're... Oh, wait. You gotta make Def jealous. You've been a co-host and he hasn't.
Oh, dear.
Def's been bugging me for ages to be a co-host on this show.
Oh,
so quick.
I must say, it'd be interesting to see Des as a guest on here. But we'll just have to see, won't we?
Yeah, we'll have to see. That'll probably happen one day down the track, much to... Oh, crap, I just said it. Now he's going to be bugging about when. Oh, no! Not fair. Well. So, yeah. Anything else you wish to cover in regards to AppCon?
It's a very long weekend. You can choose to go either on the Saturday or the Sunday, but if you're going all weekend, dress comfortably. It is very long. You can go for like 12 hours plus. So.
And I will mention one thing. If you are a fan of Cutie Mark Crusaders artwork, especially Silly's, don't expect to see any there. Unless she manages to hide it from me before and takes it to the show without me knowing, that's the only way you're going to see Cutie Mark Crusader artwork there.
I'll make a deal with everyone listening. I will go offline for at least a week before AvCon and make a shit ton of Cutie Mark Crusaders. And then
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I will.
Not fair.
And then I'll send you a photo of what's left.
No! Not fair.
And you know what? And then Celestia is going to walk past you out of the hall and say you have a lot to think about, and it's just going to be the final nail in your emotional coffin.
Yeah, but I'll be the one turning around going, go to sleep, I want my moon.
Not fair. Anyway, since you're here, we'll get right into the news. I bet you have a bit of news for us this week.
Yes, indeed. I have some rather amazing news for you, as a matter of fact. I managed to get my car to the repairers just in time, as it turned out. I'm sure that's what everyone's tuning in to hear, about how he told me just when I went and picked it up then that it's a good thing that I got my brakes replaced because they were about as wide as a leprechaun's testicle, but okay.
Yeah, and wasn't that nearly an hour and a half ago you said you'd be half an hour?
Yeah, unfortunately, when I said to you, can you give me an extra half hour so that we could start around 2:30, what I wasn't accounting for was, A, the fact that my parents, who were like, yeah, we'll take you in there right after we've eaten lunch. Good. And then I was like, okay, well, that's no problem. You know, I'll only be a few minutes late. And then it's like, actually, well, we're going to take you in, but we'll drop you off after Dad, because he also needs to go pick up his other car from the other auto repair place, which he had taken it off to. So I'm just like... So, yeah, it's deeply outside of my own control, but at the same time, incredibly irritating. And I just raced home after picking up the bill, which I'm going to be paying, and it's quite a lot. So all is well in the universe, even if it is not necessarily well financially. But all joking about automotive behavior aside, we'll move on to the actual news, which I'm sure most people are at least tangentially aware of, even if they aren't directly keeping up with it themselves.
I've already covered my bit of news, so it's just yours left.
Of course. This is pretty much news for everyone who is even slightly interested in Team Fortress 2. The Pyromania update is close at hand, meaning that within the next couple of days, the final Meet the Team short, Meet the Pyro, will finally be released for all to see.
Or by the time you're watching this episode on Friday, it'll already be out, so go watch it now.
Oh yeah, entirely possible too. You know, it's that tricky balance of trying to remember that you're keeping the hype for what's currently happening, but you're actually going to be speaking to them in the future from the past.
Oh yes, we're mysterious people. We're coming to you from the future.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But anyway.
See, I'm secretly Doctor Who's.
Yes,
I'm thinking more like Twilight coming back.
Nice reference to both of you. Having said that, I think I'm going to have to choose to not be Doctor Who, or Doctor Who's, or Twilight Sparkle. I'm going to be Rory, so that I can shack up with Amy Pond, and I think we'll all agree that it's, for me, coming out on top.
Actually, if I had my optimal choice of time travel preferences, I'd like to rock up in a train going more than 80 kilometers an hour.
That also is a good idea. Having said that, I'm pretty sure that Christopher Lloyd would have kicked you out long ago.
Yeah, but there's only one thing. I would have called him a chicken. That gets me back in every time.
Well, quite possible. But, all is well in that regard. As I was saying, though, the Pyromania update so far has announced not only new weapons, which is basically to be expected, and, of course, as a tangential side effect to new weapons, new hats, but it has also offered us a deeper insight into the lore behind TF2, some of the more dramatic events in its defining history, and, best of all, arguably, a new game mode, which I promise is in no way just stolen directly from one of their other games, Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, a game where you bring fuel to a specific area which is absurdly slow-moving and takes ridiculously long to charge. Yes, that in no way resembles the scavenge mode from Left 4 Dead 2, but I digress. Since it is in no way totally and utterly the same thing, we can all be incredibly excited for it. Yay!
Now, I'd like to point out an important fact here. Do you remember back to probably like podcast 4, 5, or 6, or somewhere right near the beginning of our podcast history, I predicted that a friend of mine from Valve informed me that there would be something new for TF2 this year that wasn't a weapon, wasn't a hat, or anything. It was be something completely different. This is what he was talking about, the new gameplay mode. Remember I told you that?
Yeah, I also distinctly remember that the blog for Team Fortress 2 announced the exact same thing.
I'd like to point out that I told you before the blog updated.
Yeah, there is no way that you can prove that, and I don't remember it. And let's face it, it's not like you actually read the blog anyway. So for you, it was important news.
Yeah, so for me it was. Yeah, I don't exactly read. I do read the blog now and then, but I'm not a religious reader of the blog. So, I'll be honest, I probably could prove it. I'd go get the. Would you stop eating chips behind my back?
I'm not eating chips behind your back. I'm eating sausage rolls behind your back. I haven't had food today. I've been very behind.
He's been to the mechanic and back. He's had a very long day.
Well, I did warn viewers there would be a few technical issues this week, so there you go, technical issues.
Yeah,
anyway,
the technical issues in this particular case being crumpled paper.
Crumpled paper?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What are you, a dictionary?
Okay, see? What? Look, honestly, yes, I am a dictionary. You can skip straight to the end. I promise you the zebra did it.
Do you know what that reference means, by any chance?
All I know is I'm actually going to check that out.
What, dictionary?
Yes. I want to know that zebra's the last word. Otherwise, Wheatley is lying to me.
Oh, the zebra did it. I didn't say that was the end of the story.
No. Anyway, we'll move right along. So is there any more with that news? And also the Meet the Pyro video is coming out too, isn't it?
It was one of the first things that was mentioned, but yes, it is also probably the most important part of this update. Go and take a look at the Team Fortress blog, and of course for the Pyromania update in general, and prepare to wet your pants with excitement about what is going to happen. Or, alternatively, since you're hearing this from the future, go and look at the blog to relive those last glorious moments before the Meet the History was completed.
By the way, how about we have a prediction? What do you think is going to happen in the Pyro video?
There's going to be an awkward twist, I reckon, and we're going to find out it's a TF2 announcer.
Do you reckon he'll take his mask off in this video clip?
No. There are many reasons why, but the simplest reason is that the Pyro is the Schrodinger's cat of Team Fortress 2. He is both male and female. He is both a robot and a vampire. We will never find out what is under his mask because the mystery is more amusing than whatever the answer could possibly be.
That's true. But I can guarantee one thing that the Pyro is going to do in this video clip.
Burn things?
He's going to burn a spy with the intelligence, or burn a spy for some weird reason.
I don't think he's going to burn a spy with the intelligence. Having looked at the actual outcome, consider this fact. The Meet the Medic video was a story. It had almost nothing to do with any level or indeed proper gameplay mechanic of Team Fortress 2 with the exception of the Uber charge.
Yeah, I'd like to point out, who was the Uber charging?
A heavy.
Exactly, and what does the medic... Like, 9 times out of 10, right, for gameplay instances, heavies, like, you know, the most common class that gets Uber charged and medics stick with are heavies, right?
Mm.
So, the most common thing that Pyros are most famous for flaming are spies. So I think, for some reason or another, the Pyro's going to have a go at a spy in this clip. That's my pre-prediction.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw in an air blast to a rocket.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that.
There is no doubt that the Pyro is going to air blast somebody. Or rather, burn a spy. But the problem is that I don't think that the spy is going to be doing something as mundane as carrying the intelligence.
Oh, he'd probably be sneaking around the base and the Pyro walks behind him, taps him on the shoulder.
Or, I don't know, I think that kind of delves into the spy's territory. I'd say it's more likely that the spy is going to get burned or something, maybe when he's about to backstab somebody. Who knows? Maybe they'll pull a twist on us and not include anything to do with the spy whatsoever.
You never know, but it's fun to have a pre-prediction, isn't it?
It is. Incidentally, Loopy, have you seen the short comic that came out with the update for today?
Not yet.
Soldier Needs a Home.
Well, considering I woke up at midday today, I've basically woken up, gone out, come back, had breakfast, got the podcast ready, so no, I have not had a chance to breathe much, really.
Allow me to read out to you. It's only 2 pages long, so, you know, this is a little bonus for you people out there. This is Weekly Reads. And in this case, it's Weekly Reads out the short comic, which most of it's actually missing, but it's still amusing. Soldier Needs a Home by TF Industries. You never clean, Marasmus screamed. The toilet's filled with sour cream. That skull you're holding feeds on souls. 'Twas forged in hell. It's not a bowl. You eat my food. You wear my robes. Enough, I say. Now hit the road. And then it skips from page 4 to page 16. And we see a lovely picture of a spy sitting in an armchair reading a book called The Art of Reading Quietly, while the soldier taps on the window from the outside with rain pouring down. He's not too clever, thought the spy. Maybe I don't need to lie. I'll just sit still. I just won't breathe. Perhaps he'll think I'm dead and leave. Oh, good, the soldier said, however. I think he's dead. I'll stay forever.
That's soldier's logic, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
I gotta ask, was he wearing the robot outfit while he was doing that?
No, he wasn't. But the spy, interestingly enough, is actually wearing one of the workshop items, which suggests very strongly that one of the hats that's going to be coming out, or miscellaneous items, is going to be the fancy, stylish spy corset thing.
Good times. Anyway, let's move on to the YouTube videos this week, and I think I have some big news here, so if you don't mind, I'll go first.
I'm eating a sausage roll.
You want to say that again without a mouthful of sausage roll?
No.
He's doing a pirate impersonation.
I think Silly's got your number, Wheatley.
I wouldn't mind if she had my number, but tish. I will mute my end of the microphone so you don't hear my horrible slobbering noises into the microphone, so feel free to go on about your YouTube video for a small bit. You should be proud of it.
I should be. But for those of you who don't know, I've been delving into... It's probably the reason why I haven't uploaded the podcast to iTunes yet, please forgive me. Because I've been spending way too much time getting my own PMV made. I made it to a song from Mulan called True to Your Heart. And it's in the documents. It's my choice for this week because obviously it's my video and it's obviously going to win this week's episode because, yeah. But for those of you who enjoy a good PMV, I encourage you, go out and have a look at my video and put me some feedback in the comments. I'd love some feedback on this video and just let me know what you think of it. Tell me if you think I'm a great PMV maker or if you think I should hang up my hoofs now and call it a night.
I reckon it was a good job and I've seen it. I actually quite enjoyed it.
What do you think, Wheatley, if you haven't got a mouthful of food?
I believe we've already established from me that I enjoyed it, but my first reaction upon watching any video is to see how well the lyrics sync up with the actual effects. And while you edited it very, very well, the one thing that came out of my head was sitting there watching the scene where Big Mac and Miss Chirley are being poisoned with the love poison. And the words that are being sung in that moment are, what is it, be true to your heart, you don't need, what is it, be true to your heart, it won't lie, or something along those lines. And I'm sitting there thinking, that seems a bit disjointed from what's actually happening on screen there, but overall it was very good. You know,
One part I'm actually quite proud of is the fact that when they say true to your heart, the heart connects right on time, and it says, believe in your eyes, or it says something about eyes, and their eyes go all, do at the right time.
Yes, you did well, son. Well done.
Mm.
Son, I am not disappointed.
Yeah. So, hang on, just 1 second. Let me get the line for you. 1 second. It's 1 second.
Go for it. You've got all the time in the world. Nom, nom.
That's it. Be true to your heart. Open your eyes. That's what it says. Mm-hmm. And so that's exactly what happens. But one thing that Wheatley did point out to me that was a little ironic, and I know it was ironic from the start, but like, just get in theme with the video that, Cheerilee and Big Mac was seduced by a love potion. It wasn't real love, but still it fits the theme of the show, doesn't it? It fits the theme of the...
It fits the theme of the song. What's the name of the song?
True to your heart.
True to your heart. Poisoned by a love potion.
Exactly. Now you're catching on.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the visual effects actually add to the scene. I know, storyline-wise, it might not be correct, but visually it is quite good.
And let's face it, nobody ever said that lust didn't come from the heart.
What's your pick for this week? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
What's it?
Oh, Ask Archer. Mm-hmm. Is it one of those ones, is it?
For those of you who are unfamiliar with the television series, the cartoon series Archer, you must get yourself acquainted with it because it is incredibly entertaining, very funny, and has won numerous awards. This particular video, which I've linked to this week, is a short series of question and answer time called Ask Archer, in which the main character answers fan mail, questions that have been sent in by fans. And honestly, I think you in particular, Loopy, would love one of the questions, which I will attempt to do an impersonation of here, just because it made me chuckle so heartily. But he says, "Oh, you certainly didn't choke on sausage roll that was only half digested, I'll tell you that." Okay. Dear Archer, what would you rather fight? One horse-sized duck or 6 duck-sized horses? Okay, I'm just going to assume that that's hypothetical, right? Right? I mean, because my answer would be neither, because a horse-sized duck is just too terrifying to even contemplate. And, I mean, 6 duck-sized horses? Really? How could you even fight them? That's just too cute. Just imagine them all trying to eat one apple. Oh, that's too adorable.
You got to give Willie an applause for that one. That was good.
That was, and for those of you that don't know, I like ponies, I like ducks, so it's right up my alley. You know how to hit my soft spots, don't you, Wheatley?
Oh, I love it so much. But yes, I strongly recommend you check that one out. It's very entertaining. Doubly so if you've seen the show, but even if you haven't, it's still good. Some good
I haven't
quality
seen the show,
data.
sorry, but... Okay. So, yeah, we'll move right along now. We'll get to the weekly rant. I believe this is yours.
Yes, indeed it is. Now, a couple of weeks ago when I first envisioned this particular rant, it was just that, a rant. But this particular week, it's actually been transformed from the whole Pyromania update into something a lot more pleasant. See, if anything, this is a sort of positive rant to show that Valve has come a long way since their early beginnings. Because when they first did a major update for Team Fortress 2, i.e. the very first big one, which was the medic update, they dragged it out over quite a few days. They added one thing after another, and it was really exciting. They built up the anticipation day by day, revealing one thing after another, until on the final day it all came together and everything came out, and everyone was super psyched for it, and they all got to go onto the game and complain about how the item servers weren't working, and then, come back a couple of days later when it was actually working. But the point is that after a while, after a few of the updates, like, for example, after the last major update, they kind of got a bit lazy, and it started to get a little bit anticlimactic. I mean, you can't exactly complain about getting free content updates, but after all those amazing, awesome day-by-day build-up sessions that they had for the original updates, having them come out all in just one huge lump, and just having all the content thrown at you at the same time, it just didn't really make you feel excited anymore. It was just a really massive letdown. But over the last few updates, in particular the Uber update and the Pyromania update, that's when they've been hitting it absolutely nail on the head. Especially once they started getting it into their head that they could actually start preparing for these things and actually start hyping up people for the updates well before they've even actually announced that anything's going to be coming out. The Uber update, for example, started having all those things like the doves that were appearing around the maps and exploding out of the scouts randomly. And now they've actually had this whole ARG pyro conspiracy with, the goldfish, and Adult Swim is getting in on it, and all of these other things you could put together. That's how you properly do an update. And I don't know. It's not something that every developer could do or every company could do, for example, and I know I keep coming back to this, but, The Binding of Isaac, you can't exactly hype people up for a future update, even though he actually managed to do it somehow. He managed to hype up things for future updates that hadn't been released in the updates from things past. That was all well and good, but I guess the ultimate point of it is that if you're going to get your updates to be successful and get people into a frenzy, you need to know how to get people excited. Just walking into a room where nobody is expecting it and slamming down a birthday cake or an enormous cake on the table, that'll make people go, "Yay, cake!" And they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's all well and good." But it's just not the same kind of excitement as if you had walked past them several times, maybe over the last couple of days, carrying various cake ingredients, cake cooking paraphernalia, subtly hinting at the idea that there will be a delicious, delicious cake in their near future, and getting them all, "Oh my gosh, there's going to be cake in the near future."
It's cake! In Pinkie Pie, look! It's cake! It's cake!
Yep.
Now to insert Portal 2 reference.
Oh man, love me some Portal 2 reference. Although, to be fair, Portal 2 only had one reference to the cake in the entire game.
You will need to assume the party position or you will miss the party.
No. The position, the reference in number 2 was just before GLaDOS captures you, for one of the first or second or whatever times. You get caught because there's a fake door which says, main GLaDOS power terminal and cake dispensary. That's the only reference to cake pretty much for the entire game in any major way. And I was very proud of them for not just overdoing the tired old memes and repeating those boring catchphrases over and over as if it's going to be funny every time. Eh? Because it's not like we ever do that with lines from My Little Pony, do we?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
That's what I thought. Anyway, that's my weekly rant.
Alright then, I think we'll move on to the game. Now, this is the one I was going to do last week, same for you. I think you're going to do that weekly rant last week, weren't you?
Yep.
But we got so caught up with the crate system, yeah. And, well, have you seen Leon? He yaks for hours. He's worse than a girl, isn't he? Ooh, I think I'm getting in trouble for that one. Anyway, but he had every right to, because, you know, he had to explain the system, so he had to put it in English so people that don't understand Latin can understand it. If you know what I mean by that. Anyway, my game is not this week. It's not a single game. It's a bunch of games in a way. Like, who out there, like, do you two enjoy games that are funny?
I like games that are witty, if that's the same thing.
Witty, funny, well, anyway, comedy games that love to make us laugh is the kind of games that make my experience as a gamer all I look forward to. Come on, let's face it. Who doesn't like crazy and silly titles that make us burst out laughing? If some of the following games I will cover as a sample. So, for example, if some of the following games I don't mention don't make you laugh, feel free to eject your sense of humour at the door and get lost. So, games like Portal, the Portal series, Conker's Bad Fur Day, the Rabbids series, old titles like Monkey Island, you know, there's a bunch of old games out there that do, like, the main point of the game is hilarity. They sell the game based on hilarity. I mean, have you ever played Conker's Bad Fur Day, for example, Wheatley?
Oh, my lord. Me.
Oh, please don't.
I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
I've got toilet paper here. I'm not afraid to use it, mate.
But yeah, I love that so very, very much. And in terms of comedic games, there's actually a Flash game that's been out for a few years that is one of the funniest games. It's short, like you will finish it in about 2 minutes. But I did not stop laughing from beginning to end. The game has a title which is exactly what the game is. Like, it's not a metaphoric name. Do you want to know what the name of this game is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Robot dinosaurs that shoot beams when they roar. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Pair of robot dinosaurs slam into the planet Earth, then you start flying around, and when they attack, they go roar! And it's pretty obvious it's just the guy who's made the game has recorded himself doing a bad dinosaur impression. Just going roar! There's just this huge beam of energy flies out of their mouth and obliterates everything in its path.
But let's be honest, games that have a comical value to it make us play it again just for the comical value, don't they? I mean, have you played Portal 1 through more than once?
Many times.
There you go, and you play it because it's a good game to play, and it's also funny, isn't it?
Same thing for me with games like Psychonauts. Oh my god. But funny as hell.
Actually, you want funny? Did you ever play the old Worms 2 game? Did you ever play Worms 2, silly?
No, but my partner did. And it is definitely entertaining.
I never get over certain parts of the Worms series.
No. One thing I enjoy doing, especially Worms 2, you actually got to mess around with the weapons mechanics and physics. So, for example, you know that machine gun, the little Tommy machine gun thingy that let you holes everywhere. You know what I used to do? I used to go edit the blast radius of each bullet. So, and you know what? I'd stand in the bottom corner of a map, aim up, the whole stage disappeared in one shot.
Deeply overpowered, I must say, but...
but hilariously funny. That was the part. I mean, come on, between the bouncing banana, the holy hand grenade, and the frickin' sheep, come on!
I had the best ever shot. We have it recorded and saved. I have a group called Trout Slap, by the way. A whole bunch of very good friends of mine. They're all charming, intelligent, deeply nerdy people. And we used to have weekly tournaments of worms whenever we kind of all hung out together. And one week we had a replay that we had to save where I went in, and for the first time ever, I was using characters based on my characters, like in terms of the worm team. The first worm to shoot was Umbrella Man. When it was his turn, a crate fell down beside him. He went and picked it up, and it was the Armageddon crate. I turned around, jumped under a beach umbrella, which was part of the randomly spawned bits of the map, used the Armageddon tool, and killed every other worm in one shot, and the only thing left at the end, like the only thing that was still intact, was the beach umbrella that he was hiding underneath. Everything else had been completely obliterated. We all agreed it was the most fortuitous and appropriate shot that has ever been made in Worms, ever.
Well, there you go.
There was one game I was talking to Luffy about before, Earthworm Jim.
Oh.
I don't... You use your head to whip things, but the one thing that used to make me laugh was when you had to whip a fridge and launch a cow into space.
Yes.
It was just like... It's pointless, but it's funny.
All right.
Not to mention the fact that Earthworm Jim was the reason that the phrase brick joke actually exists.
Oh, yeah. But one game that is especially close to my heart and will always be there is the following.
Yes, we're all well aware of the rabid rabbits.
My favourite has to be Rabbits Go Home. Come on, here's the storyline. The rabbits wish to go back home to the moon. So forget anything propulsion propelled. Their storyline is this. We're going to build a pile of junk and climb our way up to the moon. So they get a shopping trolley that is obviously bottomless and run around stealing everybody's junk. So they can build a big enough pile of junk to climb to the moon. How's that for the most hilarious storyline you've ever heard?
It's pretty preposterous. You know, in an amusing way.
And have you played the Rabbits Go Home game on the Wii?
Oh, I can't say I have, unfortunately. I haven't been able to get my Wii to work very well, and that's a very strange very strange sentence taken out of context. But placed in context, the simple reason is that ever since we, in quotation marks, upgraded our internet, it has gotten to the point now where we can't actually make wireless work. So my computer is plugged in by an actual cord rather than a wireless network for around the house. The wireless used to work, and that's how I kept my Wii updated. But now I don't have a way of actually updating it because it doesn't plug in. I went and asked the people at the store, and they're like, oh yeah, you can get this wireless adapter, and you stick it in, and it's like a little radio broadcaster, and it functions like its own portable radio thing, so that you can use it to update the thing. I'm like, oh, that's great. And they're like, yes, it's this much. And I'm like, yeah. I'm not going to pay that much for a USB drive that only updates one device in my entire house. Like,
getting back on the topic here,
yep.
I would like to say this before I forget to say it. The one thing that made that game memorable for me was the fact you ran around on a shopping trolley. Your main form of attack was one rabbit was pushing the trolley, another one was riding inside of a shotgun. The rabbit inside the trolley would sit there and go, bah! And stun people. That was their main form of attack. Apart from that, they'd done everything from flogging cows, ride toboggans down a highway, and steal a jet engine from the 747 and ride it through the airport. The hilarity, and like this game had cutscenes throughout every stage. You know, one stage you're in a hospital, right? And you're standing on a glass window, and through the glass window you saw a nurse taking this guy in a sick bed. Now this guy obviously had some kind of contagious disease because he was in like some kind of green bubbly thing. So guess what? You flog the bed with the guy in it and all. And you use it. What you do is you puff up the bubble he's in and fly around the stage and you deflate it to land.
There is something so entertainingly inappropriate about that idea.
Well, that's the rabbits for you, but you know, the rabbits for me is just dropped. I literally can't stop laughing. I mean, I remember one time, it was like, I played this game for nearly like a 12-hour stretch one day, and you know, I started at midday and play, it was getting to midnight, and I was sitting there cracking up laughing, and this is back when I lived with my parents. They came out and they're like, shut up! We're trying to go to sleep. I'm like, this game's so hilariously funny. I kid you not, I had to replay some of the stage because they literally pulled it out at me because I was laughing too hard. And forced me into bed.
Well, I can't say I've ever gotten to the point where my laughter has kept people awake. Mainly because it takes a lot to actually make me chuckle when I'm playing a game. But it does occasionally happen, and on those occasions I give full credit to whoever it is. Most of my amusement and entertainment from games like that is usually emitted in the form of me kind of smirking in a very obvious way and maybe going, but I just like, for me, there was a great joke in one of the old Westwood games. And this one, and here's the thing. The actual joke was only half of why it was funny.
Was it a Command & Conquer game?
No. It was the Legend of Kyrandia game, which is the first point-and-click adventure that I ever played, and I still absolutely love it to death. The soundtrack was amazing. Frank Klepacki, you should be a god among men, and you are. But anyway, that's my shout-out for the day. Point is, they had the very first Legend of Kyrandia game, and they released what they called, jokingly, an adult version of the game. And I'm like, okay, how the hell does this work? The adult version of the game had 2 differences. Only 2. Everything else was exactly the same. There is one portion of the game where if you don't use a frost spell to freeze a river of lava and then try and walk across it over stones, you get immolated. Like, the heat is too much and your character bursts into flames. And he just goes, I'm burning! And just, explodes. In the adult version of the game, this is one of the 2 changes. He starts walking across that thing. If he bursts into flames, he goes, oh fuck, I'm burning! That's literally one of the only 2 things. But the other one was the joke which made me laugh. And it's just such a childish thing. And it's so utterly ridiculous, and you don't expect it. In the solemn end of the game sequence, when you're inside the castle and everyone else except for you and the villain has been turned to stone, and you're going around trying to find a way to get into his inner sanctum, you can go into the people's rooms and see them like frozen in various positions of surprise or horror. The High Priestess of Kyrandia, Bryn, is in one of the rooms. In the adult version, if you click on her breasts, your character walks up, stands in front of her for a second, and then puts his hands on her stone breasts, leaves them there for a couple of seconds, takes them off, and said, I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. Silly, what's one of the funniest games you've ever played?
I'm still going to stick by Earthworm Jim. It's just a game that I grew up playing, but I always used to laugh at Silent and the Cow. I just thought it was pointless, but funny at the same time.
I personally love pointless games. I will make one last reference before we finish it up. Everyone ever played Grim Fandango?
No.
What?
Sorry, my mouth is still full of sausage roll.
Well, I caught you in a good moment. You've played that game, obviously, haven't you, then? One thing I found funny, and did you actually read the manual to that game?
No, I've never had the manual.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. You know how there was so much smoking in the game? Everyone smoked?
Mm-hmm.
The manual had you covered. There was actually a warning in the manual that says, please don't try smoking. Everyone in this game is dead. Think about it.
Nice.
I mean, everyone in this game, like, you're playing in a world of the dead, so there's lovable speed demons, there's skeletons that walk around doing everyday business, and there's beret-wearing revolutionaries, if I remember correctly, isn't there? But, lots of people in the game smoke. So you see skeletons smoking, speed demons smoking, everything else smoking. And the manual basically says, don't try smoking. Everyone in this game is dead. Think about it. Come on. Is that not just the comical point for a manual? The manual is funny in this game. The game manual.
That was the same. If you've ever played the old KKND games, the manual for the first KKND game was exactly like that. It was all kinds of funny. Like, they had full double-page bios for just the basic units in the game, which explained all about their character and their personality, which has no bearing and no influence on the actual game itself. It's just there for shits and giggles.
So, for those of you out there, email us in your funniest game. Tell us what your funniest game is, tell us a bit about it, and tell us what makes you laugh so much. But, honestly, if any of the following games we haven't talked about, or any funny games for that matter, doesn't make you laugh, or if you don't enjoy playing funny games, eject your humour here and get out and don't watch this podcast again.
I'm going to say, I just got sent a picture, which I will admit made a card game, which I had never thought funny before, actually kind of funny, and also kind of awesome. And I'm not sure what this feeling I'm getting in my head while looking at this picture is.
Well, you better link it to us now.
Yeah, I will. Take a look at that.
What do you think, Silly?
I'm impressed, personally.
I've got some mixed feelings, but I'll keep my judgments to myself.
I don't know what to say, to be perfectly honest, but if she's trying to do the whole kinky thing, maybe she should have made the card dress a little bit shorter.
I see. Well, okay. Apparently, it seems that the particular picture is not actually loading for Mr. Loopy. So the short version is, it's a woman...
I just typed that in Steam so you wouldn't read it out in front of everyone, you bum.
But if I explain out what the picture is without context, then there's no reason for it. We have to know... It's no secret that your virus protection or whatever it is refuses to let you watch anything. But this picture is basically a woman who has made a dress out of the old Pokemon playing cards. Now, I must admit, looking at that, my first reaction was, oh, that's pretty clever. And my second reaction, and hats off to you if you get this reference, is, Bernard, have you done your accounts? Yeah, I made them into a rather smart casual jacket. Yeah, she gets it. God, I love that. Black Books is brilliant. Anyway. So then.
Anyway, we'll move right along. Now,
the final portion of the show. The Mad Chatter's Table.
Now, I think we already covered a bit about this, but, like, for those of you that don't know, and you probably already know because I was talking about before Wheatley got here, but for Wheatley's thing, Silly Billie is actually a specialist in hand-drawn art. She doesn't do much digital work, yet you see her avatar there. She hand drew that.
Yes, that
That picture I've been showing you all week that I said I'm buying off her. Yes, that one.
I must admit, I'm really impressed. That dull grey question mark that appears over her name is beautifully drawn.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Because she's not on my list. I don't know what she looks like.
Have you seen that picture of the Cutie Mark Crusaders sleeping on a cloud?
No, sir, I have not. I think the only picture of hers that you've shown me was the Applejack picture.
Hang on a second. I'm just getting her gallery out now. I'll show you a picture because I'm actually going to buy this picture off, and she's going to like frame it and send it up to me. But I dare you to look at this and say it is not cute.
All right. Take a look, see.
It's not cute. I did it.
You know you don't mean that.
I know. It is cute.
Isn't that just darling?
Yeah, I know.
It's adorable because in 2 out of the 3 cases it makes no sense. Because we've already established that only Pegasi can sleep on clouds.
I know, but maybe Twilight cast you can walk on cloud spell on them. Aha.
Yeah.
I will also say, in fairness, me personally, in terms of pictures and hand-drawn stuff, yeah, well done. Most folks probably would have had to, stick something through their Photoshop quite a few times to get something that even looks half that good. So, yeah, props to you.
That is completely hand-drawn, no Photoshop, right? Yep. The most digital thing that comes out of it is just me scanning it on the computer. I do no rendering or anything of my pictures. It's completely and utterly traditional and hand-drawn. And this is why her art style is so damn cool. She is an amazing hand-drawn artist, and as I said, you underestimate your skills, Silly, but, her hand-drawn art is a lost art form, isn't it, in a way? Most people are all digital these days, aren't they?
Well, technically, digital art is still hand-drawn art. It's just, digitally enhanced because people can... How do I put this? They can easily correct errors that are made because they can just click undo or whatever, and they can use digital means to blur things. The hand-drawn art, everything is still hand-drawn in its own way, but this is traditional vanilla hand-drawn art. All stuff that is done purely using your own skill and the objects that are physically at hand. Some might argue that, it's the same thing as using an eraser in real life, is the same thing as using one on a computer, but it's really not, and it requires an extra level of finesse for you to actually pull off something like that using just your own hand. So you are to be, congratulated.
And as I said, she's taking a lot of her art to the convention in July. So I recommend going to buy some. But I'm actually buying this picture off her.
I will say, if anyone wants to actually message me on the forums, under Blue Tea Studios, for those who don't know, but I'm up for any suggestions on art I can draw to sell at AvCon this year.
More ponies! More ponies!
Really? Says Wheatley, idly stroking his beard in anticipation.
Don't make me draw Wheatley with a beard. I will.
No.
Oh man, that would be amazing. But no,
don't you dare say Umbrella Man either.
No, I actually wasn't. Actually, on a completely semi-related, but not at all where I was originally going with this note. Have you seen the picture that I awfully, terribly photoshopped of me and Loopy as presenters?
Yeah.
I liked that. But no, honestly, I've just been getting into a bit of a devilish mood recently. You know, partially because I've been playing spending a lot of time playing The Binding of Isaac, and partially because I've been researching the 7 deadly sins and demons and everything. In fact, one of the tabs which is open in my web browser at the moment is a list of all the theological recorded demons, which I'm kind of educating myself on for this big writing project I'm getting onto. But I wouldn't mind asking you to draw something, but it'd probably be a little bit more outside your usual area of things that you draw.
Demons? Not really. I actually love drawing demons more than I love drawing ponies. Sorry, Loopy.
Well, I'll give you a link here. Now, hang on. This is a picture that I've been totally adoring over the last few days, and I'm probably going to wind up using it as my avatar on certain websites that I post on. But honestly, I think anything of this style. I'm a big fan of subtle demonism. Like, you know how some demons are really over the top with all the bright red skin and the bifurcated tail and the wings and the goat hooves, and you're like,
mm-hmm.
But personally, I'm a bigger fan of humanoids with slight demonic characteristics. Like, for example, I gotta say, symbolically, pictorially, I really like this. I think you personally, if you like demons and stuff like that, you'll get a kick out of that one.
Oh, that picture?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that picture. And I'll probably, if I wind up commissioning you for anything, it'll probably be something along those lines.
Damn it, Arkamon.
Funny thing is, I actually looked at that again after talking to my brother, and I suddenly realized that he looks a lot like my brother, and she looks a lot like his wife. And I sent it to them, and I just said, hey, does this look familiar? And they're just like, oh my god. Or, to use a more recent internet meme, oh my god.
Anyway, you missed it before, but yeah. This here is a big brony. So, suffering your jocks, Wheatley.
Beg pardon?
Oh, yeah, sure.
No,
As if
I
you
didn't
did
actually
hear
hear... No, seriously, I did not actually hear what you said just there.
Silly is a big brony.
Yeah, and I've already made my comment about that to you personally.
I know, but I'm just rubbing it in because yeah.
you're rubbing it in because my initial question about that was she being a woman is a bro.
No, she's a Pegasus, if you want to be particular.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that brony is pretty much a male term.
Funny enough.
But again, it's entirely possible that we might be having to actually start calling ladies bronies, considering the fact that you can no longer call a woman an actress or a stewardess or a waitress, because implying that people of different genders is sacrilege and politically incorrect. So you have to call them all actors and waiters and stewards, because implying that there's any difference in gender and that men are in any way different to women is paramount to saying that you want to molest people in the street, apparently.
I'm very much a Pegasus, but I do actually prefer being called a brony, because I'm very much tomboy. I don't know, the whole girly thing. Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that the word brony is considerably more kind of... I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but...
It probably represents the community better as a whole.
I think it's just a more laid back and more acceptable term.
Yeah.
Pegasister sounds a bit like it's a bit forced. You know.
That's why
too long.
As far as I'm concerned, girl, boy, you enjoy My Little Ponies, you're into the fandom, you're a brony. There you go. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I think that's about all we got covered for this week, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We have, because of last week's Sunday airing, we haven't had much time to get emails in, and we don't have any emails settled this week. So, I mean, that's kind of. Oh, actually, I'm not going to say it's our fault. Sorry, Leon.
No. In terms of there not being that much time before it came around this week, let's face it, it's not that bad. This is basically just the second half of a much longer podcast.
Yeah,
so
we broke it in half.
Yeah, so the fact that we haven't gotten any emails in is basically to be expected.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, as for next week's guest star, we're keeping next week's guest star a surprise, aren't we, Wheatley? Okay, I haven't found one yet. Pyro. Okay, I haven't found one yet. We're going to get one.
There we go. Next week's guest is Pyro.
There you go. But because of all the mixing up and the messes up we've had over this week and next week with the podcasts and all the irregular stuff that's been happening with us in our lives, I've just had no time to arrange another guest star. So I will have a guest star for next week, but I just don't have a clue who yet. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hearing something from a certain someone saying it should be him.
It's the inevitability. You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability.
No! Make him stop! I hate Mr. Anderson!
I gotta be honest, I think it actually, when I was watching that movie the first time, I was slightly unconscious. Like, I was actually really tired when I watched The Matrix for the first time. And when I heard him saying, you hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. I'm like, no, you idiot, it's a fucking train.
I just have to ask, has anyone successfully guessed your favourite episode yet?
Nope, nobody has successfully guessed my favourite episode of My Little Pony. You there, Silly Billy, would you like to take a guess? You can win a free copy of The Binding of Isaac if you guess correctly.
I've already got The Binding of Isaac.
You, I love! You're my new favourite person.
I got the expansion as well. It's a freaking awesome game.
Oh, yes. You know what? I was super psyched the other night because for the first time since it was kind of available, which admittedly wasn't that long ago, but for me it was a big important thing, I actually managed to beat the chest and get to the end and defeat Blue Baby as Maggie told him. And you know,
oh, great.
And you know
why
I managed that?
Because is it sad that I actually stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning for them to actually release the update to The Binding of Isaac?
Not sad at all. That's totally awesome. And you know what? It is the thing, and seeing as you are actually somebody who does also play the game, hopefully you'll kind of get what I'm talking about here. The only reason that I managed to even come close to defeating Blue Baby and kind of surviving through the insanity which is the chest is because the last item that I got before I kind of went through the womb and got to the end of that area was I picked up a tarot card, which was the Judgment Tarot card. I spawned the beggar, gave him my last cent, and he dropped an item, which was the habit. You know, the nun's cowl.
Yes.
And since the item that I was carrying around with me was the nail, which gives you a spirit heart every time you get fully charged, every 2 hits I was taking, I was regenerating a full hit point of spirit damage and increasing the amount of damage I was actually doing.
I love the prayer card. I love just having the prayer card, and every time I finish, it's like, Eternal Heart, HP up. Oh, yeah.
More health. Oh, yeah. And between you and me, let's face it, if you ever actually get it, they may as well rename the Epic Fetus power-up to, congratulations, you win!
Yep.
Good. Yep.
Anyway, back to that reminds me, what is your guess for his favourite episode?
I don't know. Has anyone ever said the Discord one yet?
I believe that somebody has guessed the Discord episode already.
Or do you reckon you should tell her... Oh no, if you tell her your favourite pony, I'll kind of give it away, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, there's plenty of episodes with every single character in it, but besides, there's not necessarily any evidence to suggest that my favorite episode is based around my favorite pony. After all, hell, my favorite pony for quite a long time, and still personally actually is in many ways, is Trixie, because I think that she was treated very unfairly, considering that all she is a carnival performer who likes to go around and make a big boisterous persona out of herself and doesn't break character. I think that's totally admirable, and yet her name gets dragged through the mud. But ultimately, no. My favourite pony, and the one who is kind of closest to my heart, is Rarity, because she reminds me a lot of myself in many ways.
Is it like the Stitch by Stitch?
No, it...
Bloody dress
What?
one? I can't remember.
Stitch by who?
I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's
Dress
the one...
for Success.
That's it.
Suited for Success, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
Say.
I have to laugh, because just the way Raymond is just like, no, I'm not going to complain. It just needs to be about 20% cooler. Raymond is just like, oh, crap.
Sorry, Wheatley, I did not put her up to that. I did not know that was coming.
It's a delightful paradox, isn't it? Anyway, is that episode that you're referring to there, is Dressed for Success going to be your guess?
Yes.
Yep, you're totally right. It is.
There you go.
Yep, and congratulations. You can maybe pick one of your friends together, or else I can just get you something else over Steam. I'm not overly fussed about which one it is. But the simple fact is that, yeah, just as a brief explanation as to why, I do a lot of giving. For me, my friends, everything. It's no secret to anyone who actually knows me on Team Fortress 2 that I've given out about 8 unusuals so far. You know, I give out weapons, dozens of stuff all the time, and yet I still get... This is not necessarily a whinging thing. This is just, you know, a trite observation. It doesn't actually bother me enough to be classified as a whinge. But the fact is that I still get dreadfully undervalued in many ways. I still get called obnoxious names. People get angry at me. One bloke called me a greedy bastard the other day, which was not very nice, I gotta say.
Never given me anything.
But yeah, it was deeply sucky, and it also happens in real life that there are people who I will race out of my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning if they call up asking for help, and I will hop in my car and go over to help them, and yet they're never there when you ask, when you want anything, and they just seem to be totally uncaring about the gifts and the things that you do for them. And I found that episode to be totally in line with that stuff. I'm just like, this woman who just wants to make her friends awesome dresses out of the generosity of her own heart, and they're all like, it's all right, but it could be better. It needs to be about 20% cooler. It's just that one line. It needs to be about 20% cooler is the epitome of disdainful arrogance, and it's just purely rude, and one of the reasons why I hate it so much.
It just shows that you're not thankful for someone who's put time into something they're not even charging you for.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it, and that's why I love that episode so much, because I'm looking at Rarity and I'm just like, yes, I feel you. But not in a creepy, get thrown in prison for a bestiality kind of way, because that's just kind of wrong.
Well, there you go. I think today, since the episode where a dog invaded your room when I was interviewing you, this has been one of the craziest episodes we've had.
Oh, that was great. Now it's me invading my own room halfway through the podcast.
Yeah. I wonder who it will be next time.
Oh,
I was actually thinking maybe one week you might start the podcast without me, but you don't have the recording technology, do you?
Very true, very true. That's one of the reasons I asked you about that recording technology, because I thought it would be good if we could do, mini podcasts, like little mini updates for important shit that's happening throughout the week. But,
yeah?
Literally only minutes long, just long enough to cover important bits of news or stuff like that, announcements, whatever. And
you can do a few of those on yourself, can't you? You just need to give me the video and I'll upload it to my YouTube account.
Exactly. I just need to actually get decent enough recording software. I mean, I could just use Windows Sound Recorder, but it's garbage.
Well, use Pamela for Skype. It's free for the first month. While you test, you get everything fully available for it. So I use Pamela for Skype. That's what I use.
No, I'm just going to say it. There's a couple of people who I know, and yeah, you know who you are. You're more than welcome to interrupt me during a podcast anytime. You know who you are.
Do I even want to have a guess?
No, you really don't.
Will I get it right?
Probably not.
I'm just thinking it sounds a little bit dirty. It's like, you know who you are.
It was implied to be dirty. It was very strongly implied to be dirty.
Before you find out it's loopy. Oh dear.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and yes, I should clarify, just in case those of you didn't hear over the shockingly bad quality of my microphone, I did say that it was implied to be dirty, not that it was implied to be derpy. I do not have a crotch of derpy. Just so you know. Just a free warning.
I just don't know what went wrong.
Oh God, there's so many ways that could be taken out of context. But,
That's what.
I will also say, in fairness, I gotta thank you for linking me to that. That's your ponycast for Ponyscope for the day, because I hadn't heard the Horoscope for the Day song in so long, and I was just like, oh God, I'd forgotten how much I love this song, especially like, you know, the one for myself and, you know, other members of my family. Because me being a Sagittarius, my one is, all of your friends are laughing at you behind your back. Kill them. That would be a very good time to take down all those naked pictures of Ernest Borgnine you've got hanging in your den. But,
Wait.
Hmm?
Are you actually? Do you actually believe in all that stuff?
Oh, hell no. It's complete garbage, and anyone who actually believes in horoscopes is an idiot. But
So
they are very entertaining to read, just so that you can see.
What is your horoscope based on what month you're born in, right?
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
What month are you born in?
January.
All right, I gotta say, I'm not actually sure because I need to check here. January star sign. 12 signs of the zodiac. Blah 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 blah. January, looking for the. Oh come on, psychic guide crap. Okay. What day in January specifically?
The 28th.
28th. So you are an Aquarius. Let's go and look up the lyrics, shall we? Horoscope for the day, lyrics, Weird Al. Let's see here. So your one, what did I just say it was?
Aquarius.
Yeah. Aquarius. Oh, yours is the very first one. There's a travel in your future when your tongue freezes to the back of a speeding bus. Fill your pathetic life by playing whack-a-mole 17 hours a day. Although, personally, my favorite one out of all of them, because there's a bunch of good ones, is the second one for Pisces. Try to avoid any Virgos or Leos with the Ebola virus. You are the true lord of the dance, no matter what those idiots at work say.
But I could actually imagine myself doing that, playing. I mean, I have tune logics for my life sometimes, so I could imagine my tongue being stuck to the back of a bus and flying off, and I'd probably be sitting there going, Yahoo!
I just find it funny that you find Pisces amusing, and I happen to be a Pisces.
Well, there's your advice, dear. Try to avoid any Virgos or Leos with the Ebola virus.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stay away from my partner then, because he's a Virgo.
Let's see, what's the Virgo one? All Virgos are extremely friendly and intelligent, except for you. Expect a big surprise today when you wind up with your head impaled upon a stick.
That's your horoscope for today.
Oh, the look on your face will be priceless when you find that 40-pound watermelon in your colon. Trade toothbrushes with an albino dwarf and give a hickey to Meryl Streep.
What? But you know what? I could actually picture myself playing whack-a-mole for 17 hours a day. I could do that.
Deeply entertaining. Deeply entertaining.
But wasn't that my video of the week for last week?
I don't know if it was. I think it might have been your video for last week. I'm not completely certain. It was either that or it was Weasel Stomping Day.
No, that was from a few weeks ago. Hang on, just let me check. I've got the Google. Just let me open up Google Docs. I've got to check what I made last week.
Yep.
Let's see. Podcast 15. Let's see. Day. YouTube video of the week. Let's see. What is loading? No. It was the Raving Rabbits. It was the rabbits thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually going to make that one this week's one, but because I made one, I had to put that. So next week's favourite of mine is actually going to be that one. So for those of you who don't find it by then, I'll link it to you next week. It's my favourite video.
Incidentally, one last thing here. Little picture that I just got linked to on Facebook, comparing the lessons from Twilight to the lessons from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It says, lessons from Twilight. I will stalk you, manipulate you, physically abuse you, treat you like an incompetent child, and contemplate killing you regularly. That's okay. I will just internalize your abuse as my fault. After all, you're a man, so you must be right. Lessons from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Hey, Buff, you need me to bust in and save you at the last minute? No, thanks. Let me just slice this misogynist bastard in half, starting first with his balls. Then we can snuggle.
Hey, Silly, have you seen that video we're talking about? Did I show you that earlier?
No, but I have seen it.
Have you seen the pony version of it?
I think so.
There's a link there. So watch it later on and prepare to laugh your eyes out, because the actual pitch they put up with it is actually frighteningly similar, yeah.
Anyway, that should basically be it for the week, methinks.
Alright, yeah. So that's it for this week, guys. So thanks again, Silly Billie, the Lion Kitty, for coming on our show.
No problem.
Did you hear that? That was the sound of me face palming.
Why?
It would take too long to explain and would make many people very awkward.
That joke started... Well, I did up an article about Silly Billie on the forums, because she made a few guides for Minecraft, speaking of which you haven't come on to Tech It yet, you slow bum.
Hey! Thing! You haven't given me the whatchamacallit, the IP address.
Oh, well, I'll give it to you after the show. Yeah. So, and in the article, I spelled everything right except her name. I was like, Silly Billie the Loin Kitty. I've edited it since, but it's kind of stuck as a bit of a nickname for her now.
But in all seriousness, and on a completely unrelated note, one of my friends who is constantly going on about grammar and spelling and everything posted a meme which he made specifically for me, and he misspelled one of the main words. Which was absolutely awesome. He misspelled the word myself as myslef. And it's great.
For you, that would... For you, that would be a big deal of laughter, wouldn't it?
Oh, it was. It was good, though, because the rest of the meme was really good. Like, it was totally me. I mean, I laugh every time I see it, even though nobody else, except for, like, me and the people who were in my show, would actually get the joke, which is, I don't always kill myself, but when I do, someone will inherit my spoons. So, yeah, it's entertaining to me, makes no sense to anyone else.
So, yeah, thanks again, Silly Billie, and, well, we've had an interesting show this week, haven't we?
Yep.
Indeed we have. And I'd like to wrap this off with another very short children's story, and I'm sure that young Kitty here is going to recognise this one as well. Methinks, considering you got
the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I love that.
I do love the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and I think next week, just for you, if I can dig out my copy of it from wherever it is. Oh yeah, FYI, for those of you who don't know, my house is basically a library. Like, it's basically one big library. My bedroom has two ceiling-high bookshelves in it, completely covered in books. And you can't go to a single room in the house, even the bathroom, without there being at least a halfway up the wall bookshelf full of literature.
You can't go to the toilet without reading a book. It's just too boring.
You can't. Yeah.
Exactly. It's brilliant. But anyway.
Just before you start, I will mention one thing now you bring that up. You know what's all over my room?
What?
There is literally corkboard after corkboard and even a few whiteboards of nothing but notes and things I've scribbled down for design aspects for my ideas, games, and cartoon shows.
Well done. That's the sign of a true megalomaniac right there.
I'm looking at one corkboard here. It's got like about 16 pieces of paper pinned to the board. It's got a picture someone drew for me. My whiteboard's got a to-do list of things I have to do, plus ideas I've really jotted down. I'm looking at my computer desk. It's got nothing but notes. It's got like 2 notepads plus scrap piece of paper over it full of notes I've got to put on the computer again.
There's, I think the best corkboard announcement that I've heard of was the one that Dylan Moran was talking about in one of his comedy shows, where he says, I used to live with this woman called Janet. Was it Janet? No, it was Janine. I think it was Janine. Yeah. He goes, and she said she used to leave notes around everywhere for everyone. She would say, so just to let everyone know, somebody ate my slice of chocolate cake in the fridge. I had my name, written on a piece of paper on the plate. So it's obviously you would have seen it. So if you could not do that in the future, that would be okay by me. Thanks very much. I used to leave the odd message around for Janet myself. Dear Janet, everybody hates you. But anyway. Yes, I will. If I can find the very hungry caterpillar, I will read it out for you on the next podcast. But
well, hurry up and wrap up with that story,
we'll,
then.
We'll wrap it up here. This one, I think you'll probably recognize. And speaking of Dylan Moran, I'm going to read it again. There's the elephant. He's happy with his balloon. Oh no! It's gone. Where is it? It's not behind the rhino. Look in the alligator's mouth. It's not there either. Oh, the monkey's got it in the tree. He brings it back. They all drink lemonade. The end.
The sad part is I know what that book is.
Please tell me somebody got that.
Yeah, sort of. Probably in a way you wouldn't know, but yeah, there's a story behind that book in me, but I'll let you know later. Yeah, lemonade, drink lemonade.
No, just no.
Okay.
I'll send you a link referring to what I'm talking to, if I can find one. It might not actually.
Anyway, this is Loopy and Loopy with the Mad Chatters, and we'll sign off for another week. Thank you again, Silly.
Yep.
Adios, folks.
All right.